time for us to get our cricket expert Ashis Ray into the show. Ashish, good evening. Would you say that India will have a psychological advantage going into day 3, having already picked up the wicket of Alistair Cook?
I would say honours were even at the end of the second day of this first test match, for the simple reason that India have to bat last in this match, and so the wicket would have worn off a little bit by that stage, and it won't be easy. So at this point of time, India, having conceded a slender first innings lead and then got a quick early wicket, the important wicket of Alistair Cook, I would say honours are even.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about Virat Kohli's masterclass that we all saw. Would you say that this is one of the best knocks that you have ever seen in England?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that temperamentally, it was a superb effort, and he was certainly magnificent in the third and final session of play when he pretty much dominated the English bowling. But by that stage, the English bowlers had tired, the ball had got older, therefore it was not swinging as much as it was in the first and the second sessions, and he was lucky, let's face it. He was dropped twice, and he got away with those chances and obviously cashed in to put India at par with England in this test match.
Right. We'll talk about those dropped catches a little later, but how relieved would you say that Virat Kohli will be tonight after the game, after his first 100 in England? Because, you know, he's been trying for this milestone for a very, very long time now. Last time when he went to England, he averaged a little over 13, but this must be a huge relief for him as a captain as well.
You're absolutely right. 100 is 100, and it's there for posterity. He's got 100 at Edgbaston in his first appearance in the series this time round. And no matter what, that is a number that will always stay. Having said that, his nemesis in England, that is James Anderson, was again at work. There was a period of play when Anderson bowled 37 deliveries to Kohli, and 35 of them were dot balls. So that tells you how well Anderson bowled to Kohli, but Kohli survived and he fought to fight another day.
Right. It was an intriguing time of play when as you were talking, that battle between Jimmy Anderson and Virat Kohli. But Anderson remained a little unlucky, largely because he didn't have assistance of the fielders who dropped so many catches today.
Indeed, I would say it was abysmal catching close to the wicket by England, and that has certainly punished them, because at one stage it looked as if they would get a substantial first innings lead. It was not to happen. It was one of those days when the conditions were humid, and as a result of the humidity, the ball swung quite a bit. And the star of the England bowlers was the left-arm medium pacer, Sam Curran.
Right.
So it was one of those testing times for India, but at the end of it, I think India would be reasonably satisfactory.
Would you say that, right, would you say these dropped catches reduced the advantage for England? They would, in the end of the day, if they had held on to those catches, they would definitely have had a huge advantage over India.
Yes, England would have had a big advantage, both psychologically as well as in terms of the scoreboard, if those catches had been taken. It was not just Kohli who was dropped twice, Hardik Pandya was also dropped, and so it would have been a miserable time for India had those catches been taken, but they were not, and that's what the game is about. The game is about taking your catches, catches win matches, and it's a game of glorious uncertainties.
Right, indeed it is a game of glorious uncertainties, and Virat Kohli was class apart. He was the most certain factor for India today. The rest of the Indian batsmen were woeful. They did not match up to Virat's talent or skill. Would you say that the Indian batsmen have not gotten over their one-day cricket habits? They are still in that one-day mode.
I wouldn't quite say that. What I would say is that I was disappointed that the openers, having done the hard work, having established a first wicket partnership of 50 runs, then gave it away. So Murali Vijay and Shikhar Dhawan went quickly. Unfortunately, KL Rahul did not last long. He got out to an inside edge, which ultimately ended up in his stumps. And these things happen because the wicket is not that fast. And if you play away from your body, then you're liable to get an inside edge onto your stumps. I thought Ajinkya Rahane was looking good till he played somewhat of a ridiculous shot and got out.
Right. Even that wicket of Dinesh Karthik. In fact, in the second session, it was Ben Stokes who put India under trial before his trial, it seemed.
Ben Stokes demonstrated the value of a genuine all-rounder. We haven't seen him at his best when it comes to batting as yet, but certainly today he bowled with real pace. And he certainly proved his worth as a bowling all-rounder in the England team. So he not only knocked back the stumps of Dinesh Karthik. Karthik, of course, was bowled through the gate. His technique was not good enough. But having said that, I think his value as a bowler, Stokes' value as a bowler, was in demonstration today.
Did he remind you of Freddie Flintoff of 2005 when he had the Australians on the mat?
Well, I think Stokes is today England's major all-rounder. You could call him the Ian Botham of contemporary England cricket. You could call him the Freddie Flintoff of current England cricket, but he certainly has batting and bowling in him, and he's also a good fielder. So the entire package is something which is invaluable for England. And I dare say that as the series progresses, we will see more and more of him.
Right. We'll have to talk a little bit about the young fast bowler in English team, Sam Curran. We haven't spoken about him till now. He really triggered the collapse in the morning. He seems to be a man to watch out for in the in this series. Someone we missed in our list of top 5 players in the series, because all the focus was on Broad and Anderson. Would you say that Sam Curran is going to be one of the stars of the series?
You may recall we discussed yesterday that he was one of those players who has been selected because he's a left-arm fast medium bowler, and India are not normally accustomed to a left-arm quick bowler, because in India, in the Indian squad, for instance, there isn't one at the moment. So it was an intelligent bit of selection, and he's proved his worth. He took 3 wickets with the new ball of 8 deliveries, and that certainly was a turning point in the morning of the match.
Right. This game is wide open now. What chance do you give India to win from here? They've already taken 1 wicket in the second innings. Ashwin seems to be carrying on from where he had left off.
Surprisingly, the way Ashwin bowled Alistair Cook in the second innings was identical to the way he bowled him in the first innings. So it was really a replay of what had happened on the first day. What I would say is this: the match has boiled down to a crucial 3rd innings. This 3rd innings will decide the match. If England can post a good score, then the advantage would be with England. But if India can bowl England out cheaply, let us say for 250 or less, I think India are very much in business.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us on the show and sharing your thoughts. We shall come back to you as the match progresses.